Yes, today we'll study about the behavior of a conductor and a dielectric in a electric field. So you can understand, no, once I'm telling conductor and dielectric in an electrical field. This is a chapter in NCRT, and they have discussed it there elaborately. Okay, so let us see how a conductor behaves and what is a conductor. First of all, I'll tell you the conductor is having free electrons. Okay, there is free electrons in the conductor. Huge amount of free electrons are available, and this is suppose a conductor I am taking. So in this conductor there will be number of free electrons here and there. So if I am placing it inside a electric field, in this way we are producing a electric field. It is same like magnetic field also we can consider, but there is certain differences in this. Okay, so it is the electric field, this is the direction of the electric field. So this is arrows going from this side to this side, so this is positive. So what happens when we are placing this type of conductor in an electric field? So the free electrons will come to these sides. You know why will come to these sides? Because this is positive, so electron will be attracted towards the positive, and as a result of these electrons coming to these sides, there will be induced charges here, that is positive. Okay, this is plus charges. So these plus charges will be concentrated here at this side, which will be as a result of the induction of these electrons. So we can write that in case of a conductor, we can write the electrical intensity is sigma divided by epsilon. By Gauss's theorem we can write like this for these electrons. Okay, so we'll be writing like this. This is the E1, and we'll be writing sigma by epsilon for this one, that is E2. Okay, and the net electric field E, that will be E1 plus E2. Okay, this one will be added in this way, and hence what we will be writing, the net electric field will be sigma by epsilon minus sigma by epsilon. So this is, as it is negative, so this one will cancel each other and will have zero electric field inside a conductor. So inside a conductor, when we are sending in a electric field, suppose one battery is connected. Okay, so the inside the conductor there will be no electrons. Okay, and it will be just like this, and on the surface the charges will move. Clear? So this is called surface charges. So in this way we are studying about the behavior of a conductor in an electric field. In this case, suppose we are taking a non-conductor type of things. These are called dielectrics. Okay, these are mostly covalent bonds. So in this case, what happen, one dielectric I am taking in this way. So this dielectric will have no free electrons. Okay, there is no free electrons in these things. Electrons. So what happen? We have got some monoatomic dielectric and some polyatomic dielectric. What is dielectric? Dielectrics are like this type of woods, and then this is rubber. So this is or else paper. These are all dielectrics. Okay, so if we are taking dielectrics in this way, and it is a monoatomic, then what happens? The center of the electrons and protons are overlap on each other, or else it may be a small distances. So this is having a electron and protons are in this way oriented. But in case of a polyatomic molecule, suppose we are taking polyatomics, when there is a number of electrons and protons, these will form a dipole type of things. That is, these will have positive and negative ends in this way. Here positive and here negative. So this positive ends means positive part of the atoms gets in a separate position, and center of these negative parts will be at these positions. Like suppose I am showing you, this is a nucleus of an electron. The electron in this case will move in this way. Okay, so it will not be a circular, this will just rotate in this way, and generally it is rotating in a circle, but in this case it will rotate and it will get diverted in this way. Clear? So this is how we are getting the electron. So in this way it is making a positive and negative charges. So there will be lots of dipoles in this way. Okay, this one and this one, suppose a dipole, this one and this one is the dipole, so this one and this one is the dipole. Okay, in this way the dipoles will be oriented in this way. So this is called polarizations in the dipoles. Okay, this polarization is a vector, like dipole is a vector. So dipole vector is like this. This is positive and negative. It will be always having axis in this way in case of a dipole. And this, suppose this is a magnet we are taking. So magnet will have a one pole here, another pole here. So what happens in case of a positive charges? It will go outward direction. This is the direction of the dipoles. Okay, and dipoles we know what is charge into twice the distance we are taking from the middle. So this is equal to dipole. Okay, dipole we are writing in this way, P. So now when we are inserting it in a electric field in this way, so this is the electric field, and in this electric field, when the dielectric is placed, this dielectric is placed, so this dipole will get reoriented itself. This is the positive sides of the electric field, so negative sides of these dipoles will be at these sides and positive sides will be here. So like this the dipoles will orient itself, okay, inside these things, inside this dielectric. So this will be again positive, and this will be negative, and this is positive. So this side there will be all positives. Okay, all these positive things, and this is negative sides. So it is orienting in this way. So we will be getting the orientations like this. So here there will be electric field E0 that we are applying. This is the electric field E0 we are applying, and because of this negative part here and positive part here separated in a dipole, we will be getting a electric field in the opposite directions. Okay, this is EP, opposite directions, and hence what happen, the net electric field N, that will be E0 minus EP. Clear it is? So it is in this case reducing. So if we are writing vector, we will write here plus. So in this way it is reducing a bit electric field. So what is the relation between the electric field? Electric field E0 is reduced. Okay, so electric field E0 is reduced by a quantity, say K. So it is E0 by K equals to E P. Clear? So this net electric field will be E0 by E. Sorry, E0 by E will be the net E0 by E, that net electric field will be like this. So what we can write, this is E0 equals to K into E. Clear it is? So in this way we can determine the polarity of the dielectric. Now we'll be finding out another things of the dielectric, that is polarization vector. This polarization of the dipole moment, it induced per unit volume. Polarization of the dipole moment induced per unit volume will be writing like this. Suppose this is the polarizations. So polarizations will be writing sigma P, and it is A into L divided by A into L. What does it means? A means area of cross sections. Okay, this is area of cross section, and L is the length. So this is giving the volume. Clear? This is the area of cross section, and this is the length. So this is the giving the volume, and sigma P. This is called the. This is sigma P is called. This is the magnitudes of the induced charge per unit area. This is the magnitudes of the induced charge per unit area. So what we are writing, sigma P into A into L. This is the sigma P A into L. So this is what happened. This is the dipole moment of the slabs. This sigma is the charge per unit area. So what we are writing, sigma into A. This is the total charge Q into L, length of this volume. So this length of this volume we are taking. So sigma P into LL. So what we are getting, polarization P, that is equal to this. AL and AL cancelling each other. So P is equal to the sigma p. Okay, so polarizations vector is equal to the surface density, surface charges per unit area of this dipole. Clear it is? So in this way, magnitude of the induced charges of the dipole. So in this way, we can find out this by behavior of the dielectric and behavior of the conductor in an electric field. Okay, now with this knowledge in hands, what we'll be doing, we'll be finding how a dipole behaves in an electric field. Suppose this is the electric field given. Okay, in this electric field we have taken a dipole. So this is the dipole. Suppose we are sitting in one dipole and we'll write like this dipole. So this is the positive sides of the charge. So it is plus q charge here and minus q charge here, and here we are taking the length as 2l. So what is the dipole moment P? P equals to charge q into 2l. Okay, this is equal to P. Now if you are setting in this dipole inside this field, so dipole will reorient itself. Okay, I am showing you an example. Suppose this is a magnet. Okay, this is also a dipole. So if I am giving another coil like this, and this will such this is a dipole. See, this magnet is a dipole. It is in a magnetic field. So how it is just fluctuating, you see, we are taking this one and it is fluctuating. So this one will have a variation here, dipoles. Okay, and this variation will be calculating how much pole strength we are getting. Suppose this is plus charge, so it will be attracted in this way, and this is minus charge, so it will be in this way. Okay, we'll show the arrow. This is the forces acting on this dipole. So what is this forces? Forces equal to E into Q, or else suppose we are taking a atoms or else a dipole, we are writing Q. So it is Q into E. E is the electric field. So this is the value of the value of these forces. Okay, this will be writing force. So this is one force and this is one force. So it will produce a torque, and because of the torque, as you have seen here, so it will vibrate in this way. Okay, and it will be produced a torque and it will rotate in this way. So we'll get the torque here and we'll be finding out the torque value of this torque. We'll extend this one here and here, and we'll take this angle as theta. So if it is taking an angle of theta and writing A, B and C, that we can write that opposite BC divided by this perpendicular BC, and this is the distance. Okay, so BC divided by, this is the distance is 2L. Okay, this and this we are taking this length and this perpendicular length, opposite by hypotenuse. This is giving sine theta. Clear? So we are getting BC, the distance between the dipole is 2L sine theta. You understood this thing? No, this is the distance between these two forces, and this is the length of this thing. So length divided by BC equal to this. So BC is equal to the 2L sine theta. So how we are getting the torque? Torque we are getting force into distance. So this is force into BC. So what we are writing? Force we have already written Q into E. Okay, Q into capital E, that is into 2L sine theta. So what we can write? We can write that Q into E 2L sine theta, that is equal to the torque T. So we are writing torque equals to Q into 2L into E. Okay, and sine theta. So this is 2 vector. So we are writing this is equal to P. Q into 2L we have written here as P, dipole moment. So we will be writing P cross E. As it is sine theta, connected by sine theta, so it will be a cross product. So what we can write? We can write the torque is equal to the here we can write that torque that is developed, that is equal to P cross E. Clear it is? So in this way we are finding the torque developed in a dipole, or else in a dipole when it is placed in a electric field. Clear. Now what we can write? We can write torque equals to P into E sine theta. So how we can derive the torque? How we can derive the polarization P? Dipole moment P, that is equal to torque divided by E sine theta. Clear? Now this sine theta, if it is 90 degree, so what happens? This will be 1, so we'll be writing torque divided by E. Clear? So if it is at 90 degree with the P, suppose P electric field, P the dipole moment and electric field at 90 degree, this is electric field and this is P. Suppose it is at 90 degree, then we can write that this is sine theta. Now if we are taking E equals to 1, then we can define this way. We can define this is, we are taking 1. So what happened? P is equal to the torque. Correct? Why? These are the condition. What we are taking? We are taking E equals to 1 and sine theta equals to 90 degrees. So with this condition, we can define the dipole moment in this way. The electrical dipole moment of a electrical dipole moment is numerically equal to the torque required to keep the dipole perpendicular to the uniform. This is the perpendicular to the uniform electric field of unit strength of electric strength, unique electrostatic electrostatic. So what we are writing, the unit electrostatic field that we are taking, if it is electrostatic field, then if electric field and dipole moment remains at 90 degree, then torque will be equal to the dipole. Okay, so this is the definition of the dipole moment and P cross E. Clear it is? So student, let us, it remains like this, and after that we will be finding how much work is done by a dipole in our next lesson. Clear? So thank you students.